Hi, everyone, and welcome to State of State. This podcast is presented by betonline.ag, your number one source for all your sports info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Final. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. We have you covered for all your sports wagering needs, whether it's the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL, right to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options, plus your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. State of State is presented by BetOnline, where the game starts. Also, State of State is a proud supporter of Blue White Outfitters. Blue White Outfitters was created as a retail shop meant to highlight the confidence, competitiveness, and fearlessness of the elite athletes found throughout the history of Penn State University. All sales from Blue White Outfitters directly benefit Penn State student athletes. Visit www.bluewhiteoutfitters.com today. Penn State football in 2023 is certainly going to be in prime time. A lot of eyes on the Nittany Lions this upcoming season. The schedule has reflected that, and one of the big reasons why this Penn State offense especially looks very promising going into this upcoming season is because of our guest, Penn State offensive lineman, redshirt sophomore, Landon Tengwall. I understand you've got a big golf outing you got to get to in a little while, so we appreciate you diving on here with us. But you're more than just an offensive lineman. You're an author as well. So I have to hear about the children's book, man. Tell us all about how this came to fruition, because there's not a lot of people your age that would dive into something like this.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for having me on, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. It was a really cool experience. I got approached by a children's author. We worked on it together. It was, got to have my own input, kind of put what we want in there. And then, nothing really happened with it until after the season because it came out in October. I was really busy. But it came out. I got it out to, family and friends and stuff for Christmas. That was a really cool experience. Being able to, give those nieces, nephews and sign up for them. That type of stuff's real cool, family, friends. But then once we kind of got back in for the spring semester, as y'all know, it's a little bit later on us than the season. So I had time to go to a couple different schools. I went back to my elementary school. I just actually this past Thursday went to elementary school about an hour and a half north of Penn State at Wellsboro. So I went to a couple elementary schools. It's been a real cool experience. We went down to Guatemala, about 10 of us, and I got to actually we got 135 books donated for the Guatemala trip. Yeah, so that was really awesome to give books out down there. So yeah, it was a real great time.
It's called The Men Up Front. For those that don't know, you can check it out and search for it online. It's available online, which is great. So can you walk me through how you were approached? Like, was this something you always wanted to do? Was it you knew a guy who knew a guy and then, hey, Landon wants to write something? Like, how did this all get going?
Yeah, no, so my man Andy V, he's a children's author. He hit me up. I mean, it wasn't something I always thought about. I've always loved children. I got a big family, a lot of cousins. So, I love being around kids, all that stuff. I think I'm pretty good on all that stuff. So, I don't know. When he approached me about it, was something I was real interested in. And honestly, I kind of felt like, that's the type of stuff that NIL, is supposed to be about. Obviously guys making millions and stuff, all that's cool. But, that's type of stuff where you get back in the community, get back with the kids, actually make an impact. Like to be able, I think I've been able to donate because of, donations, big time donors making donations. I think I've donated over 250 books loan to schools and all types of different spots. And I hope to do a lot more, especially this summer. So it's been awesome to be able to, just give back, especially to kids. Like it's awesome, especially, seeing when they're little fans too. Like I was at the school up north, they were crazy Penn State fans because they're like the middle of nowhere. So all they do is watch Penn State football and they went crazy. It was awesome.
What was your experience like in Guatemala? You said you went with a bunch of your teammates as well. How was that?
Yeah. So it was about 10 of us. It was like Penn State football funded trip. We worked actually with a nonprofit called Souls for Souls, and we went down and gave out probably over, I don't even know, probably like 700 shoes on like 3 different days. So we went to different schools in Guatemala, and some of the schools were crazy. Some of the schools were like 2 hours away from where we stayed in Guatemala. and they didn't even speak Spanish. They spoke like original Mayan languages, so we couldn't even communicate with them. But we got them all fitted up. It was like a great experience. Got everybody new shoes. They were so thankful. It was definitely a breath of fresh air. So it was a real cool experience to do that. And then on the last day, we were able to go to this one school, and all of them spoke. All the kids in there spoke English, and we were able to give out a ton of books and stuff. So they were all reading it. So it was awesome. So they were obviously able to read it and interact, and we all signed the books and stuff. So it was a real cool time. It was super awesome.
Man, that is so nice to hear. And Justin, I think you feel the same way because there's so many people who look at NIL and they see, USC D tackle Bear Alexander's new LA pad, and that's what they think it is. And the truth of the matter, Justin, especially you always call it not NIL, but name, image, value. And the amount of value that you can put back into the community. I mean, you really can't put a price tag on that. I think this is one of the things that gets lost in this whole NIL discussion right now. And Justin, I know you're at the center of a lot of this.
No, absolutely. I think it's a great thing. I mean, when we're seeing Landon doing his book and just having those opportunities to learn how to give value outside of this sport of football, right? Because there's a level of meritocracy that you come up in football where I remember recruiting Landon, and it's like, okay, he knew in high school, like, all right, I have to hit these metrics to be recruited by Penn State, X, Y, and Z. And as an athlete, to be able to venture out into those other avenues, whether it's being a children's book author, getting out there and talking to kids and seeing that impact and being able to have and provide value outside of that, that's when you can see like the real opportunities and sustainable, NIL opportunities for the future, for yourself and sustainable growth throughout your whole career. And that's, like you said, that's what it's about. And Penn State has a unique ecosystem to take full advantage of that. So love to see when guys are doing that, man. So congrats to you, Landon, on that.
Thank you very much.
No, really beautiful. Now, I was saying, Penn State's in primetime this upcoming season, Landon, and I mean that literally, and that the news continues to come out about the schedule for 2023 coming together. West Virginia is a home night game, home night game, excuse me. And then the whiteout game is going to be in primetime against Iowa. Michigan State at the end of the year is also going to be in primetime on Black Friday at Ford Field, the home of the Detroit Lions. So that is a big move. There's talk out there. I don't know if it's officially been confirmed. We're recording this Tuesday. We'll see what happens in the coming days. But that Michigan versus Penn State is going to be a part of Big Noon Kickoff. And while that's not, 8 p.m. Eastern, noon for Fox, that's their prime time. When you guys as players are seeing all these things come out and more high-profile opportunities are coming up for you guys this coming season, how do you guys react? Does it matter to you?
Yeah, I'll be honest now. It really doesn't matter much to me, and really a lot of us. And I think Coach Franklin does a great job of keeping the main thing. And we're focused on West Virginia, and really we're focused on just one day at a time here, getting better with the guys. I think we're building great chemistry. We're in there every day grinding, getting everybody, getting their own extra work in. So you love to see that type of stuff where the team really starting to come together. I think we're definitely a younger team for sure. I think we were definitely past couple of years a more veteran team, so we're a younger team. I mean, we're really talented, as everybody knows, but just coming in, gelling every day, just getting better. Honestly, that's the main focus of the guys. It's cool to see that stuff and know that's coming in the future, but really, we're focused on just one day at a time here and just focus on West Virginia.
Well, that's a great point. You said gelling, so I'm going to stick on that, especially being an offensive lineman, because I don't know if the viewers or just the average fan understands the cohesiveness that's needed to play offensive line, pick up the different blitzes from like a Manny Diaz. How has it been? I know, we missed a part of the season last year, but like, how has it been like working back in with the guys, with the running backs a year older and everybody having that year under their belt with a new quarterback? How's that been?
It was awesome. I was back for like every single practice of spring ball. So that was awesome. So everybody was back for spring ball. And like you said, we've got I think this is the best offensive line we've had in a long time. Some of the best running backs we've had in a little bit. Obviously we got great running backs, but these guys are, insane. We love blocking for them. Like we'll be watching tape and we were watching tape today and we'll just get hyped watching Nick Singleton run a 70-yard touchdown. So, we love that stuff, especially in the offensive line room. So no, it's been real great. Like you said, just getting with the guys, gelling this summer. It's been super big for us. I think, since I've been here, the offensive line and offensive line room, like specifically the culture has grown so much. And that's been like amazing to see and really just be a part of. I think the guys we have in there are such high quality guys right now. Obviously our leader's Olu in there. You couldn't ask for a better leader. He's the one of the best players in all of college football, and he's just a normal dude, one of my best friends. So it's just we're moving where we want to go. We're just stacking days one day at a time.
Oh man, I love to hear that. And you say stacking days, the brick squad, right? Yeah, like that's
yes, sir.
The
yes,
guys,
sir.
yeah, the brick squad, and even
I love it.
And kudos to that, because I mean, I think when even just like reviewing or evaluating coaches, like offensive line coaches are hard to come by. One that can have a personality. So like, shout out to Phil Troutwine, that way, my old teammate back in the day. But you talked about, I seen the enthusiasm when you started talking about the running back. So we wanted to jump into that. So having running backs that can just hit the hole, make you look good as an offensive line, obviously doing your job, and you just saw the enthusiasm jump in. How is it blocking for those guys, and how does that energy, affect the rest of the offense, knowing that you have a running back, both running backs that can take it to the house anytime and just positive yards on every play?
Yeah, no, obviously it's super nice. We call duo, which is basically, inside zone. And then next thing you know, Nick Singleton is running down the right sideline, 70 yards. So it's just like, what? It's like, what? And you look up and you just start running. But no, it's crazy. And and sometimes I always try to look to see who's in too, because it's they definitely run differently. Like Kaytron's a lot more patient, and he's going to like find that hole. And sometimes, Nick will just hit it, with speed. But Kaytron, when he finds that hole, he's going to hit it too, though. So like, he's a little bit more of a patient runner. So they're definitely a little different to block for. But it's been really awesome blocking for him. Obviously they were just freshmen too, so that's the craziest part. I even forgot that. I'm like, dude, these guys both got 2 more years left. I say that because that's how both they go. Both of them, they're that good. They only got 2 years left. You know what I mean? So they're real impressive, man. So we're just excited for another year, and I think spring ball was awesome. We gelled real well in spring ball. Just kept that going. And as you mentioned earlier, going against Manny Diaz, I think that's something that sometimes people forget. We get to go against a top 3 defense. I want to say top 1, man. Manny Diaz, these blitzes that he be bringing, man, these pressures, all this. It's insane. You would believe what we see in practice. So he gets us ready. So shout out Coach Manny Diaz for sure.
Iron sharpen iron. That's the key to the game, right? At the end of the day. But with that, with a new quarterback stepping in and a couple receivers coming through the transfer portal like Dante Cephas and things of that magnitude, a pretty balanced attack for the offense at Penn State. How do you see that? How do you see the addition of the new receivers and the quarterback along with the running game from an offensive line standpoint? Because I'm sure, like I said, the enthusiasm when you talk about running the ball, it seems like you guys all have like a nice aggressiveness or just like a charisma about yourselves of offensive linemen that's like, yo, we want to attack it. We got guys back here that can take it whenever they want to. But how do you guys approach that with the new, newcomers to the team or the new contributors?
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome that we got, obviously we're adding pieces to the puzzle. One thing I'd say, as much as we love to run the ball, you got to be able to pass the ball, to win in football nowadays. And not even just pass the ball, but be balanced. I think when you can do both, and you kind of give the team a little bit of fear, and on both sides, they don't know what's coming at them. But obviously, if you establish the run first, the pass can come. And I think that's also one thing that's going to help, especially with a young quarterback. If we know, the offensive line and these running backs come in and we do what we know we can do, I think it's going to make it a lot easier for Drew and company, man. So that's kind of how we feel. I think we're taking a little bit of putting a little bit of weight on our shoulders, especially on the offensive line up front. But I think we're a veteran group and we know we can do it. So we're up to the challenge. But we're real excited. We're really excited for this offense to get going. Nittany Nation to see us.
You've been through some significant changes, and that's now your 3rd year, redshirt sophomore. But you've seen a fair amount in the last handful of years. I think back to you got in during what at the time we were mispronouncing Christian Veilleur's last name. It was the Flu and Veilleux game. So you got some time in that game. I can only imagine what hell that week was. And then you dove in last season, looked good in the Outback Bowl, and then this past season especially. You were relied upon at left guard, and you just gelled very nicely with Olu Fashanu, and then some injuries cropped up, unfortunately. How are you feeling physically overall?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling great. Fully healthy. I think it's even better than it was before. Obviously, I was kind of messed up going into camp, and it kind of just lingered, and it was something that eventually happened. But it was. It was definitely gave me great perspective. Definitely appreciate the game more when it's taken from you. Never really had an injury like that. So like I said, it definitely gave me some time to reflect and give me a different perspective. But now I'm fully healthy. I'm back. So I'm really excited. Like I said, I went through all the spring ball, no issues, working back in. It was perfect. So I'm just excited to be back out there with the guys in September, man.
Beautiful. That's music to a lot of people's ears. That's good to hear. So, because the offensive line honestly looks outstanding overall. There's obviously going to be some competition on the right side of the line, and it sounds like Hunter Norzad potentially at center, and there's going to be some competition there. But from the outside looking in, a lot of people are very confident about the left side, and that it's Olu and yourself. And you were saying he's your best friend, and he's one of the best in the country. No argument here. Were you surprised when he did not go to the NFL draft? Because there are a lot of people saying he could go top 10, top 5.
Yeah. No, I mean, everybody was obviously happy to get Olu back for, selfish reasons. I mean, like I said, one of the best players in college football. I think we all kind of knew after last year's spring ball, we kind of knew Olu was going to have that year. It was kind of funny. Everybody in the facility knew that Olu was going to end up probably being able to leave if he wanted to and be one of the, the top offensive tackles. And it was awesome because it was kind of our own secret and no one really found out. And you start to see it on Twitter, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then you started to see it and then everybody started to see it. So it was honestly really cool to see it because, like I said, we all knew so far in advance. But, obviously, a little surprised. But I mean, Olu, he's an awesome guy. Wanted to come back and, work on his game, get a degree, all that stuff. Definitely, super commendable. He's like I said, a stand-up guy. So, doesn't surprise me at all. And, I'm happy to have him back. It's amazing to have someone next to that's just locked down. It's awesome. We're on that double team. He comes down, knocks the hip, dude goes flying, so that stuff's awesome, man. So I'm real happy to have Olu back, obviously, for one more ride. So it's super happy.
That's fantastic. Now, you said you're feeling better physically, feeling like you're 100% going into this upcoming season. What do you feel like are your strengths? What are some things that you're still working on going into 2023?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously every day, we're the offensive line, we're out there really working. Every day we switch off running pass. And there's just certain things like I just want to be a little lower in run game, be a little more, stout and pass. But it's just a lot of things going into that. So many little different things and so many different drills that Coach Trout helps us out with. He's whenever he can, he's sending us drills. If he can't be with us, he's sending us drills for us to work on. When he is allowed to be with us, he's with us out there grinding every second he can. So fantastic to have him in our corner, man. He's one of the main reasons that this offensive line room is transformed. For how it has transformed over these past couple of years. So shout out to him. All credit to him. He's been fantastic. But yeah, we just as an offensive line just keep grinding every day. Like I said, keep gelling. I'm real excited for me and the rest of the guys.
Are you a fan of rivalries? Are you a fan of smack talk? Do you like to stand out from the crowd at tailgates? If so, check out Smack Apparel and see what their team has geared up for football season. Their Let There Be White tee is the perfect gear for all those famous whiteout games at Beaver Stadium. Or get straight to the point with the worst tee for all the Ohio State haters out there. Smack Apparel has the must-have tees for all your teams, including pro and college football, plus basketball, baseball. Every fan is covered. Head over to smackapparel.com and use the promo code STATE10, that's STATE10 at checkout for 10% off. Again, that's smackapparel.com, promo code STATE10 at checkout. Why wear boring when you can wear Smack? Are you looking for undeniably good hair and beard care? Then Maestro's Classic is perfect for you. Maestro's has beard washes, beard oils, beard butters, plus hair gels and pomades. It's one brand for every man. Visit maestrosclassic.com. That's MAESTROS classic.com and use our promo code STATE20. That's STATE20 at checkout for 20% off your order. Maestro's Classic, crafting a better you. And like I was saying, your time at Penn State, it's been when the transfer portal has really exploded in college football. And Justin was just touching on, Dante Cephas is somebody a lot of people are talking about at wide receiver, running back Trey Potts, offensive line Addison Penn coming in from Duke. What's it like welcoming these guys for their first, first day at school, so to speak? Like you feel like a kid again. All of a sudden you're like, oh no, I got to meet all these new people. How is it, embracing these guys?
Yeah, one thing I always said, especially early in my recruitment, that I tell recruits is that at Penn State, I felt like it was when I came in, it was just such an easy transition. It was just like you were part of the family. No one, like none of the seniors, a lot of places, seniors might be, kind of mean to the younger guys, whatever. It's not like that out here. Everybody's nice to everybody. Like everybody hangs out. It's very welcoming, like brotherhood, I'd say. So it's been like that since I've been here. As far as I know, I have actually a transfer roommate that just moved in with me, Alex Felkin's kicker. And just like welcome like a brother, man. That's just how we do it here. Like they're one of us now. So we just we accept them, and those are our brothers now. So that's how we feel. It's not really anything like we think about. It's just you dap them up, and then it's from there. That's just your brother, man. You're going to war with them. So that's just how it is. It's weird. There's nowhere else, no other, anything outside of sports that's like that. That's why sports are so unique, man. It's awesome. It really is.
You hit it on the point. And you mentioned earlier you mentioned the dynamic of seeing Olu kind of come into his own. And was it spring ball, or did you say camp?
It was spring ball like before last season.
Yep, spring ball. And that's when you typically see as like an internal football player. You're like, oh, this guy's coming along. Let's see how this happens. And you get to see it. That's like one of the joys of working within a team and being a teammate of a lot of these guys. Who have you seen this past spring that is like he's going to be a star in the making, that maybe some of the viewers should keep an eye on, that they might not know as of now?
Yeah, I mean, I went against them every day. Probably one of the most explosive people I've ever seen is Akeem Beeman, number 51. I think he's gonna have a huge year as a defensive tackle. You can ask anybody on the offensive line, and they'll tell you. I mean, he's got the best hands. He'll get under you, forklift you up, man. Like he's got some moves, and he doesn't weigh a lot, but he is strong and quick. So I mean, look for him to have a huge year. So I'm real excited for him. Then I guess I'll give you one on the offensive side too, man. I really would say Hunter Norzad, man. Super impressive, just like all spring, just consistent. Like that's what you want in a center, man. Consistency, and just you can rely on him. And that's just him to a T. So I say he's a pro. Like he's already NFL vet in a college locker room. That's the feel I get from him. So I love working with Hunt every day.
No, that's awesome, man. I love hearing guys give kudos and real evaluations of the guys, because there's a level of having respect within the locker room that trumps everything else, whether it's Twitter followers, NIL, all that different things. It's like how do the guys in the locker room feel? And then speaking to just the culture of like everybody, hey, we're friends and come in, we got a job to do and going forward. But with that being said, right, this is the summer going into a season with a lot of expectations. And keeping that 1-0 mentality, what type of daily practices do you guys do to kind of stay focused on the day-to-day and continue to get better and not let the hype of the expectations coming around? Like every week, it seems like a new primetime game is announced. You know what I mean? It's just staying focused and locked in. How are you guys doing that on a daily basis?
Yeah. No, I think, we're coming to work, every day. And I think we have great leaders too that keep us focused. Obviously right now is actually a discretionary period. So our coaches can't even be there. The coaches, strength, whatever, like they can't be there. So we're actually really relying on our leaders right now. All the older guys are running the workouts. Obviously we know the expectation. We know the standard. And the standard's a standard, and we hold that to guys. And as far as everything, locker room, but honestly, everybody, we're not too worried about it. Like I said, I feel like you just come in and you kind of just understand. It's like, all right, it's just day by day. Like you're just taking it just one day at a time, just trying to put as much work in as you can, whether, that be film. Obviously we hit leg, like today we hit legs hard and ran. So we went in and got an hour of film in afterwards. And, that type of stuff it's been real cool to see. Some people don't always do that. They'll just go home. But, you see everybody walking in the film room after lift, all that stuff. So it's really awesome to see. Obviously, when you start to see just a culture just build and build, like when you've been somewhere, it's really cool to see, especially to be a part of it too. And, you start to see stuff like that, like winning the Rose Bowl and stuff. So, we're just real excited for this next season.
No, that's amazing, man. And with that, it's a great time for every excitement going around, especially with NIL going on. We touched on your book earlier. Has there been anything with NIL, or I guess that you guys have seen as, I guess, enhancing your experience at Penn State or as a football player? I mean, outside of, obviously, we talked about providing value, but being able to work amongst each other, like when you guys are meeting fans or you're doing more, I guess, work opportunities amongst each other, like how has that been, or has there been any type of, because it's a different dynamic working with one another Like, right? Like we're out in the doing meet and greets and things of that nature.
Yeah, no, it's real cool to do stuff with the guys. Also honestly, I'd say from an NIL perspective, just the ability to meet the people that we're meeting is something that's really amazing. Just all different type of business owners in the communities. I think that one thing that people honestly don't fully recognize, the people you meet now and the people you might do a $500 NIL deal worth, it might be only worth $500, whatever. But if you have a great interaction with that person, they love you, they love doing business with you. Well, guess what? You come back in 10 years when you're done with football and you want to work with them for their business, or you want a loan or whatever it may be. They already did business with you. They love your business, so they're gonna rock with you. So that's really something that I've took a lot of pride in, is just always doing good business, just always being a nice person to people. Just spreading positivity and stuff whenever I meet people, big smile, that type of deal. Because I feel like that really does make a difference, and that you make a difference how people remember you. And like I said, I mean, the type of people we're meeting are big time people, and obviously in fans too. Like that's another thing. As far as fans go, you want to create your own fans for life. Obviously there's Penn State fans, but you want to create fans, and they remember you. They remember a specific interaction with you that maybe you don't remember, but it sticks with the fan. And now you have a fan for life when you go to whatever NFL team, when you're doing whatever, and they follow you on Instagram down the road. So that type of stuff I take a lot of pride in, and I always try to take time to, go out of my way to do whatever, sign an autograph, whatever it may be, for, those type of reasons.
I need to have you on the NIL panel at one point. I mean, I know they're out there, Sports Business Journal, somebody outside of Penn State. They got to hear you talk about it. Because, I mean, that's the core of it, right? Beyond the fluff of signing deals. Because like you said, like there's sustainable growth even in the $500 deals. You might come back and like implement yourself into a new business, or come back with a new idea. Now you've done business with people. You've done business with your teammates, and you see them in a different light. You can start to see like, okay, this dude's professional, this dude's not professional, and just the different, I mean, from a personnel background, just like evaluation points of guys in general, right? Like it's a great opportunity to take advantage of, and it seems like that you're on the right track. So congratulations to that again on that whole piece, because it's a dynamic time to be a college athlete.
No doubt. It absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, man. So I got you, Tom.
Now, Landon, you got a car recently thanks to NIL deals. Were you what was the situation around that?
Yeah, so it started actually probably in January when we got back, and I kind of just saw NIL was kind of lacking around Penn State. As Justin knows, I'm sure as you know, that's kind of was the consensus.
It's picked up. It's picked up significantly in the last handful of months, which is really positive.
It had. So it was funny enough. My dad got introduced to this donor that was working closely with Lions Legacy. So I got introduced to Lions Legacy. We've done a bunch of events with, and I pretty much became and I kind of did this on purpose. I pretty much became the team like liaison, and they went through me to set things up. So instead of and it was hard. And sometimes it's hard to go through the head of the higher ups at Penn State, and they won't actually pass any messages on, that type of deal. But, they come to me, and the next thing you know, I'm being included, I'm always at all the events because I'm organizing them. And then I'm also meeting all these people. So I kind of figured, I need to take the lead on this. I was like, no one's taking the lead. So I want to do this not only for, me, but for my teammates too. So then we started having, started planning way more events. We did an event back in Maryland. We just had a cheesesteak eat off. A bunch of different stuff. It was real cool. But Success Honor, done a ton of stuff. It's been real awesome. But I've kind of tried to submerge myself in this. I kind of had to step back a little bit during spring ball. And obviously we'll have to step back all the way in the season. But it's been real cool to be a part of. And like I said, just meet all these different people, and just different opportunities for me and my teammates has been super awesome. We're actually going to New York in July. I'll actually be there for my birthday, so I'm really excited for that. But we're going to like Nike headquarters, Twitter headquarters. We're obviously going to meet a bunch of different CEOs, all that mess. That's the best part about going to Penn State is those type of experiences. So Wall Street, all that stuff. It's going to be really exciting. Stay in Madison Square Garden, so it's going to be real time. And NIL's opened up all these experiences for us that I feel like, back in the day, guys like you, Justin, you guys didn't get to do this stuff. So it's super cool now.
I love to see it. And you guys take advantage of it the right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, Landon, I love, first of all, that you're saying, hey, you're waiting to see maybe if somebody would step up, and you're like, I'm just going to step up. So that's a leadership thing, which is great. And that's something James Franklin and the entire coaching staff have been talking about through winter workouts and through spring ball, is that the leadership contingent within the team is going to look different than it did last year. And there might be more guys that step up that way. So I think you're already expressing some of those qualities. And then I'll say, just as a Penn State graduate, kind of what you're discovering right now. If I had a dime for every time I heard, these major corporations are like, oh, Penn State's one-stop shopping. You can literally just roll up and you can meet people in every single discipline and profession. That happens all the time. So you're in a perfect position that way. I do want to ask you about some of your teammates. James Franklin has spoken extensively about Vega Ioane. 6'4", 352 pounds is what he's listed at officially. How the hell does that work? And how does he make that all move and work? Because it sounds like he's a freak of nature.
Yeah, we don't really know. Trust me, we've been trying to figure that out. Venga's he's built like no other, man. He is strong, and when he wants to sit down, he will sit down, just lock you down. He wants to move you in run game, he's moving you. So he's super strong in the weight room, just always throwing up weight. Today I remember just looking over at him. I was watching him just front squat like 315 over there. I'm just looking at him like, dang, man, he's just moving it. So that, he's real. He's coming to himself, very well. I think we have so much depth on the offensive line this year, which, as you guys know, is super important. So we're really excited for Venga. He's got a real bright future out of him.
We talked a little bit about Dante Cephas, and you guys will get a chance to see what he's all about, obviously, once you get to camp in August. But in terms of the receiving core, there's a lot of excitement externally about Keandre Lambert-Smith. Is he going to be able to take the leap this year? Trey Wallace has done well in the past. Amari Evans looked awesome in spring ball. From your perspective, is there somebody that we should be paying more attention to in terms of pass catchers?
Yeah, I think the people that you named off are definitely some of the top candidates. Obviously, we saw Keandre have a breakout game in the Rose Bowl, so we're really happy to see see him have that type of game that we knew he could have, that we need him to have all year for sure. Then this coming year, and we got a great group of guys. Obviously, like you said, new addition, definitely a baller from what I've seen. So we're really excited for Dante. So, I think we got a ton of guys in the mix, and, obviously got someone that can spin it. So we're excited for Drew to get him the ball too. So hopefully, we're going to give him enough time, and we'll get in the end zone a whole lot.
You talked about quarterback. Like I said earlier on, you got to be there when Christian Veilleux was in a difficult situation against Rutgers 2 years ago. You played a lot of snaps with Sean Clifford. You played some snaps with Drew Allar. Is Allar progressing? How are you feeling about everything? Do you like what you see so far out of a guy who's just a year younger than you?
Yeah. Now, real fast, speaking of that Rutgers game, though, the flu game, I always love to talk about.
Yeah, I know. I've asked a bunch of guys about it, and they're like, "Oh, it was a crazy week. I need stories. I got to hear about it."
I could talk for like an hour about that. What my favorite one is, though, so Caden was like kind of sick, and I didn't know if I was gonna basically play or not. And obviously, my first time, I haven't played yet. So you know how that goes. Like, the nerves are crazy. Freshman year, true freshman. And so I don't see Caden downstairs for breakfast. And I walk upstairs. I catch him in the hallway. And I'm like, yo, so, and obviously I want to play, but I'm super nervous. So I'm like, hey, like, what's the deal? And he's like, I'm no good, man. I just threw up. I'm like, oh, dude, I go back to my hotel room and I just sit there in my room like this. Cause you got like 30 minutes after you eat breakfast, Justin, before you go. So I'm up in my hotel room like this. Just I'm like, Lord, please help me. So Caden goes out there and does like one drive and he's like, I'm done. So I played the whole rest of the game, but now it went really well. And obviously, we beat it and stuff, but there's a bunch of stories, but that was like my oh crap moment. Welcome to college football. But I think back to the original question. I think that Drew's done real well. Obviously, he took a big step this spring. Definitely a little more commanding in the huddle. Definitely his offense. And it's just fun to see him step up and make those big throws. I mean, he's been doing that. As you guys know, you saw when he came in Purdue. One thing I'll say about him is he's always calm, cool, collected. You don't ever see him nervous. He's always cool as a cucumber. So that's like really reassuring when you look to your leader on offense, you see that. it's like, all right, let's go. Like it's time to go to war. So that's how I feel. I love him. I love him as my QB, as my leader. So we're real excited for him, and hope he has a big year.
That's outstanding. I know the expectations, the hope, the aspirations are very, very high inside the building. Outside the building, fans, hope a lot of him and a lot of you guys. So it's really nice to hear that you guys are taking this all in stride and, keeping the main thing. So that's always good. Before you go, how's your golf game?
Man, so we it just started this summer.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, cool. You're a big man swinging that thing.
We are. But look, we all, because, NIL started. So this is really what happened. NIL kind of sparked it because, now we got all these, golfing events. We just had a golfing event this past weekend. There's all these type of golfing events that we can get in on now. And, opportunities to meet, businessmen, all that good stuff. And, and you can't be sitting there like, I don't know how to golf anymore. So, man, I'll tell you, there's probably like some days we're like, I'm like 3 minutes from Blue Course, the Penn State golf course. And some days there'll be like 20 of us out there on the driving range, like 20 players, because we're all trying to get good. And then there's some people, I'd say probably the best on the team right now, probably Sanders Hayek by far. He'll like step up. We'll be out there like shanking balls. He'll step up, just like grab like his 5-iron, just no stretch. Just first one, just kill a ball, man. And it's just gone. I'm like, he just shows off. But you know how them kickers are, man. But no, the whole team is grinding. So I'm hoping my golf game continues to get better, but I'm getting there.
We'll see you on full swing on Netflix, like in no time. I guarantee it.
Right.
Landon, thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck this upcoming season. Stay healthy, all that stuff, and good luck with your tee time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you all so much for joining us. This episode and our entire library of shows is available now on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, and wherever else you get your podcasts. And of course, let us know what you think of the show on Twitter @TheKing1 and @TomHannafin. State of State is presented by BetOnline.